Okay, so this is the second part of the Excel test prep that we did in class. As you can see, I've changed a lot of stuff. I did that in pause just because there was a lot of minutia to this. In order to save time for the video, I did it off video. Okay, let me explain what I did though so that it's clear to everybody what we did with this file. Okay, so first thing I did, we already did the merge and the merge and wrap, which merge and center. So that's no problem. But let me explain how I tried to figure out all the other stuff. So if I go back here to my test, like I said, they don't tell me anything about font sizes, font styles, color codes, anything. I just have to eyeball this so it looks like this. So the first thing I notice is on my test instruction, I notice that that's it is a sans serif font. So I just played with the sans serif fonts, and to me that looked like it was Arial black. It also looked like it was bold. Okay, so if I just eyeball it, that looks pretty close, and I believe the size that I chose was 20. So that looks good to me. Okay, the next font I want to look at is the font with the headers, the payroll number, forename, surname, etc. Okay, I notice that that is a serif font. Okay, just by looking at it, I sort of eyeballed it, and it looks to me like it was Times New Roman, so I chose that, and that looks pretty close. Next thing I have to do is I have to change the text in there to white. Okay, so just went in there. Once I select the text, if I do that here, here's an example, select all the text, I can go back there, and the little, this one here, the font color, I can go in there and I can select any color I want. Okay, I'm not going to change that to white because I want to keep it that. That's how I changed the font to white. Then what I did is I changed the background. So once I have my cell selected, same thing, just go back to the home. That little bucket there will change my background, and I selected black. Okay, so that's how I did that. If I go further though, okay, I notice that all of these rows, okay, all of these look the same, but the 2 is squished. So the way I do that is you go to the bottom of the row, okay? Once the cursor looks like that, I can then squish my rows in and out. So that's how I did that. I'm just going to move it down a little bit more. I'm just going to spread out my columns so I can see everything. That looks good. That looks good. That looks good. And that looks good. Okay. Yep, I can see everything in my columns, so that looks good. The last thing then is that looking on my test sheet, it looks like all the borders are selected. In other words, the borders aren't invisible for my cells, they are bold and visible. So the way I do that is I just select everything on my sheet that I want. I go back to the home, and under here, under the all borders, I just selected the all borders. Okay, so that's how I made this look like this. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save this as a spreadsheet with the file name M17 and my candidate number. Okay, so let's go back to that. File, save as. I'm going to save that in the vid. I'm going to change this now to M17. Underscore center number and candidate number. Okay, so these are all made up. Save that. Great. Okay. Now, just to reiterate, okay, I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different files. They just asked me to save the one that looks like this, okay? I didn't add any new sheets and imported anything. I just kept all of my files separate. Very important. The instructions don't tell me to add anything, any new sheets and import anything. I'm just going to keep everything separate. The reason is that when we go to do the VLOOKUP, if everything's separate, I'm not going to have any problems. Some of you guys had problems because you were importing things into this sheet and it ended up screwing up your VLOOKUP functions. Some of you as well just sort of didn't import the CSV file correctly. That's going to give you problems down the road. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to place my name, center number, and candidate number on the left in the footer. Place an automated file name which includes the file path on the right in the footer. Okay, so in order to do that, we need to go to page layout. Yeah, page. I click that little. Sorry, I'll just go back to that to see how I got that. So I go to page layout, page setup, and I click on this little arrow here to get my custom header and footer. Okay, so they say place your name, center number, and candidate number on the left in the footer. So I'm going to go to header and footer. I'm going to go to custom, sorry, is it footer? Yeah, custom footer. So in the left section, left footer. Okay, left footer, my name, and those are just made up. Automated file name, which includes the path in the right footer. Okay, so click on the right section here. In here, I've got all these automated things that I can do. I can automate a page number, number of pages, insert the date, insert the time, insert the file path, insert the file name, insert the sheet name, and insert a picture. They want this one, insert a file path. Okay, so that's automated. In other words, I'm not putting in user /Heslin desktop, blah, 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 blah. That is the one I want, the automated one. Okay, so I click that. Okay, that is good. All right, everything looks good for there. All right, now the next one, okay, in cell D4, enter a function to look at the pay type from the contents of the file, M17. I'm going to do this because these are all my VLOOKUP functions and they'll take quite a while. I'm going to do this in the next video. So I'll do steps 17, 18, 19, and I might get through all of it, but for sure, the next video will do my VLOOKUP functions, which would be 17, 18, and 19. Okay.